What's up, AV Club? It's your girl, Aluna Vane, back with more queer video content. And this week, I want to talk to you about something that's very special to me, very near and dear to my heart, thrift shopping. Specifically, I want to take a look at why the queers are so infatuated with thrift stores and thrift shopping. This has to be a thing, right? I swear it's a thing. Trust me, I've noticed it, I've seen it. This is culture forming right in front of our eyes. Okay, let's take a look. So, going way, way back to the very dawn of time, if we take a look at the long and winding history of queer culture, we will find that it is defined and shaped by oppression and suffering, and most notably, queer people's resilience to that oppression and suffering. The queer community has always done a fantastic job at taking what life has thrown them and all of the dirt and garbage that the world has dumped on them and recycling it and making it into something beautiful. Most notably, I'm talking about the concept of reclamation, reclaiming the ability to reclaim something. I guess for the sake of this video, the word queer is a great example. The word queer obviously started as a slur, which I still use it as, but now it has been repurposed, reclaimed, and expanded to include a broad demographic, a large blanket of so many different types of beautiful people. And so we've taken something that was stinky garbage and made it into beautiful, shiny garbage. And it is for this ability of reclaiming that I think queer people have such an affinity for thrift shopping. This all goes to say that thrift shopping is a natural fit, it's a clothes pun, for queer people. And I think a lot of the queer and gay community, their attraction to thrift shopping is very much rooted in the type of clothing present at a thrift store. A lot of it is older clothing, or what people would describe as vintage clothing. And this vintage clothing is typically more gendered than modern clothes are. And when I say gendered, I mean in a masculine or feminine way. Clothing in the past was very much used to reinforce gender roles. But that being said, we can use the ways that these pieces of clothes are gendered to then experiment and to expand and to redefine gender roles or to dismantle them altogether. And obviously, dismantling Western culture is kind of the whole point of the queer agenda. The gays love gaudy things. Much like crows, they seem to have an affinity for squawking loudly in public places and picking up shiny objects. Or I mean, maybe that's just me, but look at this necklace I found though. If the gays didn't love gaudy things, I wouldn't have purchased this. This is absurd. When am I gonna wear this? Who am I? Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt? This is madness. And when I say gaudy things, I'm talking about so much of queer culture and queer representation. I'm talking about the use of color and the use of texture. Look at a pride flag. It's a rainbow. That's as many colors as you can have in one space. Or, for example, think of all the glitter and sparkles and glamour. I mean, a great example of this maximalist outward expression of queer culture and queer identities is to look at drag performance, It's a space to take everything to the nth degree, to the next level, right? So then thinking about how much the queer community loves to express itself in this overt, open, over-the-top manner, it only stands to reason that they would be attracted to the clothes that a thrift store has to offer. And I say that because, again, if we take a moment to think about what's being donated to a thrift store, it often is things which are gaudy, Specifically, I'm thinking of like the 80s and the 90s. And like, I know I'm kind of picking on neon colors here, but there were a lot of gaudy, terrible fashion choices from the last few decades, which now in a modern context, we look at as being totally and completely tacky. But it is for that same level of tackiness and over-the-top color and texture and this outward representation that I think the queers just eat it up. Oh, Lisa, this is simply far too garish. You cannot wear it. You should donate this, Lisa. A woman should not have it in her wardrobe. I mean, to illustrate a specific example of what I'm talking about, look at what I picked up the other day. Love it! For just $1, and it has sequins and little bedazzles, and it has ruffles and sequins on the same piece of clothing. This is absurd, folks, and I bought it for $1. No one's gonna like actually wear this, but I'll actually wear it because, well, you know, all the things I mentioned. And it's got a little pizza stain on it. Lastly, so much of queer culture is rooted in individualism, the ability to choose one's own path in life, to select one's fate and destiny, and to be the highest form of oneself. You know, I think this uniqueness, this individualism, is very present in the way that queer people choose to present their gender, as well as the way nowadays that we define ourselves and the narratives around us as people. I mean, if you want another great example of this, look at astrology. You know, just the concept that we can prescribe these aspects to people based on, you know, star charts and alignment and all that witchcraft mumbo jumbo. Even concepts like this alone lend credence to the idea, an idea that is common in the queer communities, the idea that we are all our individual selves and that we all have these unique characteristics that define us. So, we consider all of this, and then we think about, once again, for the final time, what you would find at a thrift store. And typically, 95% of the time, what you find at a thrift store is going to be one of a kind. Typically, like when I go out thrifting with my friends, it's like it is a search for a treasure. You know, it's a search for something unique. You're digging through each individual piece, individual being the key word there, and kind of judging its unique qualities. And then you know as a person that if you find something special at a thrift store that you're not gonna find anyone else with the same thing, then you can like show up to a party with total confidence and be like super cool because it's like one of a kind or whatever. And so it's this thought that by finding these individual pieces, these unique one-of-a-kind pieces, that we can define ourselves in a way that matches the uniqueness and individualism that we feel on the inside, you know? It's a hunt for a piece of treasure, really. It's a hunt for a diamond in the rough. And being that most of us gays are living in the rough, who wouldn't want to be a diamond? Anyways, I think that does it for now. I don't know why thrift stores have been on my mind, because I haven't left my house in the past 5 months. But I was just looking at all these terrible, gaudy pieces of clothing that I have in my closet, and I really got to thinking. So, like, is this a thing? I don't even know. You let me know. Sound off in the comments. Maybe it's just a West Coast thing, but I swear that every time I go to a thrift store, I find one of my queers there. Or every time I go to hang out with one of my queers, they want to take me on a date to a goddamn thrift store. Anyways, this is your girl, Aluna Vane. Subscribe, smash that bell icon, hit the like button, follow me on Instagram, follow me on SoundCloud. I also have a new music coming out, link down below. That might be the best song that I've ever written, ever. Please check it out. I would love you for a really long time. It means a lot to me, you know. We're going big places, and it's all because of you. Anyways, I think that about does it. Love y'all dearly. Catch you next time. Bye!